In this tip, you're going to learn the basics of project management at a super high level, but a lot of people I've experienced, they either lose track of what it really is and they get lost in the details. I know I have in the past. But project management basically comes down to three legs of a triangle. Now, there are more legs, we'll get into that, but it's basically what do we have to do? What's our scope? How much time do we have to complete it? And how much money can we spend to complete the task? And you might be able to visualize that these are flexible, they're trade-offs. For instance, if we have a very large scope, we might need either a lot more time to do it, so our due date might need to be pushed out if there's only a few people. However, if we can spend a lot of money on it, maybe we can hire a lot more people, maybe a team of 10 or 12. I mean, it scales certainly. And even though we're spending more, let's say month to month, we can get it done sooner. And I've been on projects where, the cost was absolutely fixed, but we had flexibility on time frame. If it took another 2 or 3 months, that's okay, but as long as we kept our costs down, the customer was okay with that. And there are other projects where, this product is due, say April 10th, and maybe it's done on April 10th and it could go off and get launched on the space shuttle, and maybe it's not. I mean, the flexibility on time was not there. However, cost, it was pretty close, but maybe the scope was just whatever we could do in that time period. Ideally, we'll negotiate with the customer and say, hey, look, this scope we can complete in this time frame, and it's just going to cost this much with our given infrastructure. Every once in a while, a tool will come along. Personally, I like some of these model-based tools that help us do the systems engineering process, MBSE for short, model-based systems engineering. Sometimes they can trim down how long it takes, which can then make our due date be a little more generous to the customer. Or if the due date is set, maybe with some of these tools, we can actually increase our scope. But we can't just go and say, hey, we can do more for the same amount of time and money without having these tools in place. So urge you, don't be speculative in what we can do. But again, the three fundamentals are, what do we actually have to achieve? What's victory? Our time frame, when is it due? What pieces of it are due at what point? Also for here, what programmatic or like design review type tasks are due when? Okay, that's part of the scope. If we have a bunch of design reviews, that has to be added into our estimate. And then, of course, how much money can we spend? Can we just hire anybody? Can we just ramp up? Or is there a certain limit? And, when the money's gone, the money's gone. Some of these government projects, it could take them years to get an additional plus up to finish the project. So sometimes the money's quite fixed. But you'll be able to succeed at your job as a systems engineer if you can understand how these three interplay, what they are. And just as a bonus, a lot of times you might hear different legs of the project management triangle. Quality and customer satisfaction. So for instance, let's say the scope and the costs and the time frame are fixed. Well, now there could be trade-offs on how much quality is put into the product. Okay, or maybe there are other aspects about customer satisfaction. Maybe it's not adding a feature, but how it's delivered. There are other trade-offs. And even though this is a fairly top-level overview, there are a lot of nuances. I mean, people spend their careers, advanced careers, just balancing this and managing this for a large project. But the basics, it's scope, how much can we spend, when is it due, and then some other aspects like quality, customer satisfaction. If you're interested more in project management, there's a certification you can study for called the Project Management Professional. Whether you view certifications as useful or not, for me, the act of studying for that test and passing it forced me to learn the basics. And honestly, that's how I learned most of what I learned for project management. So there are a lot of great study guides out there. DM me below if you're interested. Let me know. I can give you some personal recommendations. But take away the basics of project management, and knowing this will help in your technical career, your systems engineering career, because we have to do our systems engineering within a budget, and we have to be on time. And unless there's negotiation with the customer, we need to deliver what we've said we're going to deliver. I look forward to seeing you at the next tip. And again, message me below or reach out directly if you're interested in learning more, or if you have other thoughts or comments.